Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comic Book Burrito Extra Beef. My name is Darien.
My name's Landon.
Today, we, as promised, are going to give you our MCU Phase 4 ranking. We're going to rank every project in Phase 4, 1 through 18, or start at 18, make our way up to 1. 18 being what we liked the least, 1 being what we liked the most.
Yep.
We did the same thing with some of these projects last year. I think it was in January we actually did it. It was our 2021 MCU ranking. Well, now we ended Phase 4, so I thought we'd do a Phase 4 ranking. And the next year, we'll do, like December or January, we'll do a 2023 MCU ranking. And it'll just go on like that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. With number 18.
Oh, I guess you're starting?
Yeah, I'll start. I'll name mine, and I'll say what it is, and then I want you to say what your 18 is, and then we'll both sit there and talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, my number 18 is Miss Marvel.
That's like your worst one?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your 18?
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to explain, or you want me? I'll explain. I'll explain.
Do I need to explain mine?
Miss Marvel. We reviewed all of this on the show, so you can go and watch our episodes or reviews each episode of the shows or extra beef of the movies. Miss Marvel, from the very beginning, the idea of the show was like, okay, Miss Marvel show. The trailer turned everyone off.
Yeah.
And then going into it, I went into it the way I was like, okay, I'm going to have to watch the show anyway, so I'll hold out hope. Maybe it'll be good. I said, maybe it'll surprise me. There were 2 episodes that were good out of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
And just the story didn't make sense. The villains weren't interesting. The only interesting parts of it were Mala herself, and I was gonna say Abu, but now.
Ooh, I was about to mention that. I was like, it might need to be 18. Abu is a weirdo.
Yeah, Miss Marvel is just the weakest, I feel, of all of this. It's just Thor: Love and Thunder at least had, because that's what yours, at least had a story that you could follow.
Yeah.
And the villain was interesting. But yeah, that's my 18. What's yours? I mean, I know what yours is, but
yeah. Thor: Love and Thunder is probably the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen. I think I'd rather watch Thor: The Dark World than Thor: Love and Thunder.
Interesting.
And that's probably, as far as this is probably MCU's worst movie. Unless you can, I mean, I don't know, you want to make a rebuttal on that? I was like, yo, you're forgetting this one right here.
No.
Because I know everybody considers Thor: Dark World to be the worst, but this one takes the cake due to how much potential it had and what it could have been, and it ends up being beyond disappointment. And there's levels of a movie being bad, laughably bad. Then you go beyond laughably bad, where it's just awful and you're not enjoying it at all. I saw this movie twice in theaters, and I did not like it at all. I didn't think the jokes were funny. Thor is, I don't like Thor. Only plus I can give this movie, they made Jane more tolerable, and the Guardians are there, and that's kind of the only 2 plus. Gore was good, but I wanted more of them. You know, they just cut it out for no reason. So I don't know. It's over how good Ragnarok was, where I'm thinking, okay, this is where Thor needs to go now. It being, more lighthearted and goofy, but like have these awesome worlds, like these strange creatures in it. It'd be awesome. This it just does. It tries too hard to be Ragnarok, where it just looks like an imposter. It's like, what is this? You know.
And also branching off of this, my number 17 is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and funny enough, my 17 is Miss Marvel.
We had a little switch there.
Hey.
Thor: Love and Thunder to me is, like I said, it's better story, better villain. And plus, and part of it has to be that it's Thor, and I know Thor, known for a while. So I know Miss Marvel less, and I don't know, I'm more attached to the characters in the Thor movies than I was to any one of Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
And so that's but yeah, still it's something like story and villain. That was the main thing that caused that. But Miss Marvel, how do you think that is better than Thor: Love and Thunder?
I because at least there was like one episode I really liked, and I think the girl who plays, I really enjoyed. Like, I ain't enjoyed no character in Love and Thunder that much. I mean, I'd say maybe Gore, but I didn't see much of him to really fully like him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the girl who plays Miss Marvel I love her. She's incredible. I'm glad she got the part. You clearly tell she's a big Marvel fan.
Oh yeah. And
I hate this is Miss Marvel project turned out to be this just mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I was enjoying seeing her on there, and there was like a couple of good episodes in it. Or at least there's one episode that was decently good. You know what I'm saying?
The one episode that stands out to me is the one where she goes to the Avenger Con.
Yeah, that one. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's some good stuff in here.
Second episode, I remember as well.
Mm-hmm. Like, maybe most of the episodes are just not good, but at least you had, there was at least one thing in every episode that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Hey, ready to move on to number 16?
Yes.
All right. I think we'll have the same one for this one. Maybe not, though. But they might be switched the next two. But my number 16 is Eternals.
That is not mine.
Oh, what?
Yeah. My number 16 is Black Widow.
I think I was right about the switch thing. But we'll get into it in a second. Let's talk about Eternals. I've seen Eternals 4 times. All the way through each time.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where, and I just watched it recently. It was like last week I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
There are bad parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Very bad parts. Too many characters. Not enough to make me care about it. I care about like 2.
Yeah.
But there are good parts, and those good parts are really good parts.
Like all the fighting scenes.
All the fights, like, it looked good. Like, the whole opening is really cool.
And the chemistry is pretty good as well between the
first MCU sex scene in this movie.
Yes, that's why it should be higher. That's why mine's number 2.
Jeez. Yeah, but Eternals, it suffered from being. I talked about this too when we reviewed it. Too many characters and too long of a story. If the movie was like 30 minutes shorter, I think it would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you put Black Widow?
Well, do you feel like it's just too long for just not really a good reason? They could have shortened. They could have cut out some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I say Black Widow because, by the way, I have a tier list here from dumpster fire to bad. We're now in the bad category. So this ain't like the worst thing I've seen, but there is good things with Black Widow, such as Black Widow's sister, Yelena. Is her name Yelena?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yelena and Red Guardian.
Oh, those two. I cannot wait for him to come back.
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson does a great job, does a Black Widow thing.
Good acting.
The mom's kind of forgettable. I don't remember much.
Yeah.
But I mean, Black Widow, Yelena, and Red Guardian are fantastic in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think the story is terrible. I don't like it at all. they butchered one of my favorite villains, Taskmaster, and which I guess we'll see maybe a redemption in what's that movie coming out? Thunderbolt?
Yeah.
We might see a redemption with that. Who knows? The villain, like the dad of Taskmaster, or whatever. That's terrible.
The guy who was leading the Red Room.
Yeah,
in control of the Red Room.
That's awful, and yet terrible CGI, like just laughably bad.
There's only one scene that was like bad CGI, and it was the scene with Yelena saying this was fun, and that was like the only scene I could think of was bad.
The whole skydiving part didn't really look that good. At least to me, that is. I'm not gonna act like I'm a CGI expert all of a sudden, but like, no, it just wasn't as good as it should have been. And I'm in the boat of this movie is a little too late to come out. I wish this came out way beforehand.
Like after Civil War.
Yeah, after Civil War. And it would have been perfect.
I'll go ahead and say this. My number 15 is Black Widow.
And my number 15 is
Eternals. I told you, I knew it would be switched again.
Yeah. Maybe we're just not meant for each other. We're just complete opposite. We're just
I similarly have the same likes of Black Widow as you do. While I do think that Taskmaster as a villain was pretty lame. The guy who was running the Red Room was also kind of lame, only because he was like the villain behind the shadows. And he was only there for like one scene.
Yeah.
Even though you hear that they talk about him all the time throughout like, the whole movie. Yeah. But I mean, one thing that sticks out to me most about this movie, which is like one of my favorite parts, is the score of the movie. I'm a music nerd, and so like I paid more attention to music and stuff than most people.
Yeah.
And I really I think it's Lauren Balfe that does the music for this. I may be wrong, but like Yelena's theme song, and like it plays a lot in it, and it plays in Hawkeye too, and like it's a really very like to me it's a memorable song. I'm like, oh, that's Yelena's theme song. And it's because like I don't know, I really like the score of the movie. It's good.
Yeah, I gotcha. With Eternals, pretty much everything you said, I agree with. I feel weird because Black Widow is a shorter movie. You think I'd put that one up higher just because it's more over with, but Eternals has some really nice cinematography in it.
It's a really pretty movie.
A very pretty movie, and I'd rather look at that than anything else. And the fight scenes are fantastic. Like I love watching the fight with Icarus at the end is incredible.
With the speedster. Yeah, and Makari, the speedster.
And I love I like the character. I hate it because I can't remember their names ever. But like I mean, literally that dinner table scene is I love that scene. I like
one of my favorite characters in the movie was I can't remember his name.
Who's the guy with the camera?
Yeah, the guy with the camera.
Yeah,
he's funny. I cannot remember his name, but he was with Kingo. His character.
Yeah,
who has made many cameos in recent Marvel stuff on like posters. That's like a movie star. He was just in the holiday special. Mm-hmm. He had a poster. You can see a poster in the background. But yeah, my 15 is Black Widow and 16 is Eternals.
Yeah, my 16 is Black Widow, 15 is Eternals.
All right. Here is where I might surprise you. You're gonna be mad at me, I think. My number 14 is What If.
That's pretty low. My 14 is She-Hulk.
Okay. My 13 is She-Hulk, so I'll get that out of the way and we'll talk about it now. The reason I put What If at 14, I've talked about how I'm not keen on animated, like too much animated stuff. Like I watch Into the Spider-Verse, maybe a couple episodes of X-Men animated series, Batman animated series. That's about it. The first episode did not impress me. The second episode was better, but still hadn't hooked me. The third episode, I really just was, the one where the Avengers kill. Fourth episode, Doctor Strange, amazing, love it.
Yeah, best episode.
And then after that, there was like one other good episode. There was only 2 good episodes out of the 9. I feel like for me, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That first episode really left a bad taste in my mouth. I think back to Bucky in that episode. And that was one of the reasons I didn't like it, because his voice acting was so horrible. Sebastian Stan did a really bad job with that.
Yeah.
Who are you supposed to be? The Queen of England? Shut up. Sorry, but I like the Watcher.
Performance of him.
I did. I like the Watcher in the show. He's awesome. That's probably my favorite character out of the whole thing. Yeah. But just I don't have anything to say to that. I just think it was a pretty okay show.
Mm-hmm. She-Hulk is very interesting because
half of it was good, half of it was bad.
Yeah. Like because like first episode was good, then it kept going down a bit.
Yeah.
Then rose up in the episode with what was the episode with the magician?
Maybe like episode 3, I think.
Yeah, went good.
Those 2.
Yeah, I think it was 4. And then went back good, then went back down, then ended off with a pretty good finale.
Yeah.
And the characters in the show are good. I like Jen, She-Hulk. You know, Mark Ruffalo does good as Banner and Hulk.
Mm-hmm. Tim Roth.
My favorite character, Abomination, comes in, and maybe forget Daredevil.
Oh. Okay, that's the one. That's like one of the best things that show did, was give us Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy about that.
But it's just, I feel like it's just it. I almost feel like the bad just almost outweighs the good, because there was a lot of just like somewhat kind of just stupid episodes. Yeah, I was like,
And one complaint I have with it, and it's not, I mean, it's a complaint, but like it's something that I understand. Like, I know the CGI sometimes is a little like, but like I get it, because I mean, it's a Disney Plus show. They don't have the budget that they do in the movies. Yeah. So I mean, and your main character is literally full CGI the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, and I get that. Yeah. It just did take me out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, there were characters that I enjoyed. One of my favorite characters, probably, I think I talked about this when we reviewed the show, was the guy named Pug. I knew him from Arrow, so I was already excited to see him in this, and I don't know, I just like his character. He's a good actor anyway, and other stuff.
Mm-hmm. I was really hoping the show's finale would lead off on a really good court case. Yeah,
between Matt and Jen.
Yeah, between Matt and Jen, and it's more like a respectable type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I love. I mean, because
we did get her that really cool. I think the finale was one of my favorite parts, because I mean, her breaking. Yeah, that was incredible. That was awesome. I kept watching it, and I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening.
Yeah, you get to see Kevin. It was great.
It was good.
I mean, there's practically 16 wall breaks. Practically, that's how many there were.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, I do think that a lot of the bad does outweigh the good, unfortunately, in this show. Making it a I don't know how I describe it, or decent or okay, or not okay might be like less over. I don't know. It's okay and decent. Like, is decent better than okay, or is okay better than decent? Like,
I always consider them the same. I would, if I had to say, I say decent is more above.
Here's what I would say. If someone said, "Did you like She-Hulk?" I'll go, yeah, okay, a little bit.
Yeah, it was okay.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "What Daredevil?"
You want to continue to the next one?
Yeah, let's do number 12. I think our number 12 might be the same.
Yeah, I think so too.
My number 12 is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, it is not. My number 12 is Hawkeye.
Oh.
Okay. Now, do you want me to start on this one because it shocked you, or would you rather go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. Might be a hot take. This is a show I think is good. This is when we start getting good.
there's a couple. I mean, I'd say there's maybe 1 and 2 episodes that are just okay.
Mm-hmm.
But talk about a show that is mostly good. But dude, I don't remember anything. It feels like the most like forgetful show.
That's how I feel about Moon Knight, and I'll talk about that later. But Hawkeye, yeah.
And I rewatched this last week.
I watched it a lot. I watched I would watch each episode about 3 or 4 times the week they came out because I'd watch it with different people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I've seen the show basically like 4 times.
Yeah.
And it ended weird for me because it ended when I had COVID. I was just getting a little sick whenever the episode they revealed Kingpin, when they were like, "Oh, it's the Kingpin," right at the end of the episode. And that would like hype me up so much.
Yeah.
I was so happy for that. But then I got sick.
Yeah.
Christmas break happened, whatever, and then from school, and I didn't see this episode until like way after No Way Home came out, and I already spoiled No Way Home, and so I was just and I was still sick, and I was just in a bad mood. So so it ended off sourly kind of for me. I enjoyed part of the last episode.
A lot of it had to do with because I know No Way Home was right around the corner when this.
It was very overshadowed.
Very overshadowed, and I was thinking, oh, maybe that's why I was forgetting. My mind was on No Way Home so dang much. Just thinking about the possible theories that I just ignored it. I'm like, okay, I'll rewatch it. Yeah. I rewatched it last week, and dude, I can't. I remember it being good, but man, it is just. It doesn't feel that special.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it because everyone here does good. Jeremy Renner does great.
Who
plays Kate?
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld does great. Kate, I love seeing Lucky. Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin comes in. It's fantastic. It's all good stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's just. And
Yelena was there for a few episodes.
Yeah.
Ties up that loose end. Yeah.
And you have a good plot with Hawkeye in the beginning. He's losing his hearing and all that, and it's like, oh my god, this is like.
You can see some Ronin action.
Yeah, Ronin. It's awesome, and you have some good parts in the show, like him in the park during that like Dungeons and Dragons meetup or whatever.
Yeah, like the LARPing thing.
Yeah, the LARPing. Like it was funny. It was cool.
I think the emotional parts of the show were the best parts.
The whole family stuff I love because that's like my favorite part of Hawkeye. He's just a normal dude pretty much. Yeah, it has like a family and all that.
I like
do that often.
Thinking about Hawkeye, some of my favorite scenes were like the scene where he takes. I don't know if he takes out his hearing aid. He does. I think I don't remember. He's like standing in front of the mural where it names off all the Avengers.
Yeah,
and he's like talking to Nat. And he's like, "I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do." And so when he puts back on the Ronin outfit, and he had that whole like emotional thing. And then tying in with that, when Yelena confronts him. And they have that whole thing where she's like getting ready to kill him, and he was telling like, "Oh, Nat loved you." He's like, "It's my fault. And if I could go back, I'd do it all over again, save her." And that whole thing, like that scene, made me tear up when I watched it.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner does a good job.
Yeah. My number.
More forgetful parts than anything else.
Yeah. My number 12 is Falcon the Winter Soldier. This is a show that I like more than you. I know that. But for some reason, it's not. Yours is higher on the list. I don't know.
Well, I'll get to a while.
I love John Walker. Oh, Falcon. I love the Winter Soldier. I love Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love those. I love the main characters. What was her name? Sharon Carter, right?
Yeah, Sharon.
Oh, I thought she was okay. It was. I don't know, I never really was interested in her character anyway, but let's see. The villains were kind of bad. Were very bad, actually. I don't like those. But the story I thought was interesting. Captain America was my favorite. I love the story of he passed me the shield, but I don't want it. I don't like the symbol, like the meaning that it brings. Not meaning that is it like I don't like the attention that it brings. And like all this stuff, I like that whole story. Where he's coming to grips with like, well, someone needs to be the hero.
Feels like he doesn't.
Yeah. And then when John Walker gets it, he's like, oh well, now I understand. Like there needs to be a better hero. Someone needs to be better. And Yeah, I love that. I love his Captain America suit.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I cannot wait to see that show up in another movie. I know it will. Captain America 4 probably. But
Yeah.
I'm not probably, definitely, because it's Captain America movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. I love the finale of the show. To me, was really good. I like the whole fight. Plus that suit. So I mean, that's one of the main reasons. And then, I mean, yeah. So I can really think about the story. Like I said, the villains impact the story heavily, and the villains weren't that great. I don't.
No. What I mean, would you consider Zemo a villain?
No, he helped them.
I mean, yeah. That one girl, she got on my nerves. I hated her. I didn't like her one bit.
Yeah.
I was glad she died.
Talk about a shocking episode 4, though, when John Walker kills the dude, and you see the blood on the shield. That's like that image is just so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, almost made it my profile ban, my Twitter ban. Thought about it.
Wow, you were the John Walker of Twitter.
I am the John Walker of Twitter. Yeah, there's a lot I want to say, but we'll get to mine here soon.
But that was my number 12. Yeah, that was my number 12, though. All right, you ready to get on to number 11?
Yeah.
My number 11, and this was hard for me because of what it is, and I'll explain it in a minute, is I Am Groot. Now, you tell me what your number 11 is, and then I'll talk about
it. My number 11 is I Am Groot.
Okay. Let me explain my thing, then. This isn't really a show, and it's a short series.
Yeah.
I guess. 5-minute episodes. 25 minutes. Like one episode of a normal show is all this show. And it's just Baby Groot doing stuff. It's for kids. So definitely what it is. I do think that there were 2 episodes of it that I did really like, which were the one where he meets that little like civilization of people under that rock, and then the last episode where he's making the present for the Guardians.
Yeah,
Rocket. And I see a lot of people complaining that Rocket looked really bad in it, and it's because he's like animated in this, not CGI like he is in the movies. So that explains that. But I just think this show, did we need it? No, not at all. I don't think that they really need to release it. They did it for kids, and so I mean, get off for that. But I mean, this isn't anything that I would like rave over. There's like 2 episodes of it. I was like, oh, it's cute. But it's just kind of like there. I mean, it wasn't bad by any means, but it just wasn't like something I would watch really. Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I can't agree. I mean, honestly, I don't really know what else to add because you pretty much said everything I was going to say.
Yeah.
Show is just. I mean, it's weird because it doesn't do nothing terrible.
No.
But it's just like,
It's like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, I guess.
Yeah. That was our number 11. Number 10 for me is Hawkeye.
Okay. Number 10 for me is What If.
All right. You were 4 places ahead of me for What If.
Yeah. Do you want to start with yours or mine?
I can start with mine real quick because you really said most of the stuff. I enjoyed this show. It's a nice little Christmas show. Where it is. I mean, it's not really Christmassy. It is, but it's not like. Like it takes place during Christmas. You get the Christmas vibe sometimes, but it's a superhero story. And like I said, I love some of the acting in it. Love it. I love most of the characters. Kingpin. You got the introduction of Kingpin in the MCU. It sets up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed the show, but it's not my favorite show. It's definitely not my least favorite show. So that's why I put it at 10.
For me, I mean, so this is where 10 and above is when the stuff starts getting good. Like What If like from there below, it's either forgetful or bad. And What If has I remember every episode, and I liked every episode. Sure, there was a couple of ones that are not as good, but you said episode 1 you just did not like at all.
No.
I enjoyed it. I think that was a good episode. I thought the Avengers one was interesting. Doctor Strange is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord, it's one of the best love stories ever, and something. I mean, I'm not gonna say I can relate to it or anything, but like, it's just how far would you go for someone you love, and I think many people would literally do anything to make sure this person they deeply care about stays alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. What do you think? What about the zombies episode? What do you think?
Zombie. Funny enough, that's probably like one of the more disappointing episodes.
Mm-hmm.
How
and it's getting its own spinoff, unless it gets canceled. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know. I hope not, because I like to see Marvel Zombies done justice.
And it's supposed to be TVMA, so I mean, like,
so, I mean, it could be good. I hate the only thing they did implement in the comics was like T'Challa being like sacrificed for food. You know,
that's kind of what they were doing.
I mean, that was the only thing they did in like the comics related. Everything else was kind of like,
oh yeah.
You
had Scott Lang's head in a jar.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, it's probably the most. I mean, in my opinion, not the best episode from all of them. I thought the Killmonger thing was great. It was just. I think I enjoyed the show more than you, because I appreciate animation, and I'm not a weirdo.
Yeah, probably. I like reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saying I'm living fantasy? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. We're all living fantasy watching these projects. My number 9. That's what we're on, right? 9? Halfway through. My 9 is Moon Knight.
Nope. Same here.
There we go. We're probably going to get, like, at the end, like, all of our least favorite stuff, it was kind of mismatched. But now I think it's going to start matching it.
Our last 3 are the same.
I think so.
No, in fact, last 4 are the same.
I also think so. The rest of this might be the same. We'll see, though. Moon Knight. This is a show I was really excited for, right? Extremely excited.
Yeah, this is when they first announced, hey, we're doing some Marvel TV shows, and they announced Moon Knight. I was like, this is going to be my show. Get some weird stuff in there.
There was weird stuff.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff.
I love Oscar Isaac's performances.
Mm-hmm.
There was one scene that was like, really? You had to do that? Where he did the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
My name's Steven.
Mine is Steven with a V.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, cringy. All right. That's horrible. And I don't know if it was purposefully cringy because Steven's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know.
I'd say that's probably the one thing I don't like about this show. That's what's kind of. I wish I could put it up higher, but I think making Stephen Grant Mr. Knight is not a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that idea. I like how they changed Stephen Grant. He made him more this like outcast or whatever. It made oh god, it's not Jake, it's not Steven, it's Mark.
Yeah.
Mark more of like a, more of a straight man.
Yeah, and we do know of Jake, but now we haven't explored the character of Moon Knight fully yet because we haven't met Jake too much. I saw one scene.
Yeah,
Which I don't know when they're gonna like do that. I don't know if they're gonna do a season 2. Like, when are they gonna tie up that loose end?
Yeah, Lord knows. I would like a special. I was really hoping
that'd be cool.
Moon Knight would be in the Werewolf by Night thing. I guess not.
I would. That'd be so cool.
I think the Moon Knight suit is incredible. I like
the way it goes on him. Like a mummy.
Yeah, one of the very rare MCU outfits I think is better than the comic book suit sometimes. I mean, I enjoyed the show. The villain was great. The finale, I ain't like the finale that much.
You know, it turned into a giant kaiju fight.
Yeah, which
and then it was over like that. He snapped out. Jake killed everybody.
yeah,
Which I mean, it was a tease and all that, but like.
But yeah, well, there's a difference of doing. If you're doing a tease, you gotta make it clever. Don't just like because it felt like the writers didn't know what to do. They're like, oh, Jake, we hint at Jake. It's like, oh, okay. You know, and it's just whatever.
Yeah. My favorite part of the show is, oh gosh, I don't know which episode it is. It's okay. It's at the end of it, Steven dies, but not really. He like gets stuck in the sand.
Yeah. I know.
It's like throughout the whole episode, they're going through his like life or whatever, and you find out how he got the split personality and
it's a good episode.
Stuff. Yeah, and he has that scene where he like drops down in the middle of the street at his mom's funeral and just like breaks down in tears, and that was his first like real like transformation.
Yeah,
and I really did like that scene. I thought his acting in that was great. Oscar Isaac's a good actor, and I mean, hey, we know him from Spider-Man 2099 now, across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, which I'm very excited for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good show, but there were better shows.
Yeah. Which yeah. Which you want to go to number 9?
Number 8.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah.
Number 8 for me is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, 8 for me is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay. Doctor Strange.
First. Yeah, I'll let you go first on this.
There's only one reason I put it here. A lot of the other movies were better than this one. Like, even though there's 2 other movies. No, 3. 3. No, wait. 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 of the movies ahead of this one in the rankings, and they're all better in quality. I feel this movies. I enjoyed this movie. I'm one of the few that really liked it. I got my fan casting that I've had ever since like 2015, I think it was, when I watched that one Fantastic Four movie, and I'd watched that trashy one, and I was like, let's just cast John Krasinski as Reed Richards. I was like, he could do it. He looks the part now.
Yeah.
And I've been hoping for that. And then, see, I would watch Marvel movies on and off. I was like a fan, but I wasn't like a fan where I would watch everything. But now I am, and I'm contractually obligated through this podcast.
Yeah.
But that was my hope, to get him to play Reed Richards one day. And I just always thought, I kept it in the back of my mind, but knew it would probably never happen. And it happened, and I was so happy. I almost stood up from my seat in the theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hey,
and you got $10 for it.
I got $10. Y'all did not believe me. I don't know why y'all did it. I was all like, I guess it's one of those bets you want.
And then Black Bolt, that was awesome. Getting Anson Mount back. I knew Anson Mount because he played main character he played Cullen Buchanan, I think his name was, in Hell on Wheels in AMC. It's a good show.
Yeah.
And Captain Carter, Professor X. I mean, awesome. Wanda was great in the movie. The score was fantastic. Like,
you sure this ain't like your number 2 or something?
No, I'm naming all the good stuff. I haven't named any bad stuff. Okay. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But there is like 2 universes, or 3.
Yeah, it ain't really that madness.
No, it was very unmarketed. I thought it would be something that it turned out not to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, you kind of get it because you go. I mean, well, here's the thing: you get that one moment with him and America Chavez. They go through like all the multiverses and like a bunch of multiverses in like 2 minutes or whatever. But then that's kind of it, and there's nothing else to it.
Yeah. But I did think there were the quality was the main thing in this. I felt like while this movie was good, the other movies felt more epic in a sense.
Yeah.
Now,
but
I'll get into that later.
Play this on director or
No.
Studio.
See, it's tough. I don't. If I were to think about this, I could change something around, but I just think Sam Raimi's not a bad director at all.
Yeah, far from it.
I mean, some of the stuff isn't for everybody, but
Yeah.
I mean,
like Dark, man. I mean, literally. Yeah. My dad hates that movie, and I he's a big Sam Raimi fanatic.
Yeah,
he has a style, and I think he, from what he was given to do, I think the movie turns out really well.
Mm-hmm.
But just due to the fact that, I mean, you could tell, like Disney hands is all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, and it's just not it. It could have. I mean, this movie could have been like one of the greats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I do think it does boil down to director, even though it's just his style, and then what other choices that were made for the movie aren't as good as some of the other. Also, cinematography is another thing too. But we'll get into that. What was your number 8 again?
My number 8 was Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. You talked about that, right? Or
yeah. I mean, everything
you talked to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said earlier is pretty much in line of what I think. The villain sucks, but I like the story, the finale, the character. The communication between Sam and Bucky is incredible, and that suit he wears is good. Yeah, Bucky has a pretty decent arc. Zemo is incredible. I mean, great. I mean, it's all around just. It's just better than what Moon Knight is, and I'm surprised because throughout this entire year I just kind of like, it's okay. I don't really see the hype in it, but like rewatching it, I rewatching a couple episodes. I didn't rewatch the whole series, but watched like main episodes I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me started on what's his name? John Walker. I loved him. I mean,
yeah.
I can't wait to see him again. I can't wait.
And the Thunderbolts.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. My number 7. Can we get to that?
Mm-hmm. This one I think is going to start being a bit close.
My number 7 is. It might not be close. I don't know. Mine's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Okay. Mine is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and tell you my 6 is Shang-Chi.
Okay. So, so you want... What do you want to do?
I can start off and talk about Black Panther real quick, and then we'll get to Shang-Chi.
And I'll give my thoughts on that while we're doing that. Okay.
I wrote it of Black Panther being higher than Doctor Strange because Ryan Coogler is an excellent filmmaker. Like the movie just looks good, and it has. I'm gonna say this, like one of the best Marvel villains.
Ryan Coogler can do villains better than any other person, man.
Namor or Namor. I don't know. Like in the movie, that he says his name is Namor, and that's what the Wakandans call him, Namor. But like maybe it's because I'm country. I'll be like Namor. But it's I guess it's personal preference. But I thought he was fantastic. Tenoch Huerta, who plays Namor, he did great. He has that line where he was like, he was like, bury your dead, mourn your losses, you're queen now. And that was like right after, spoilers, there's gonna be spoilers all throughout this, so you guys know. That was right after he killed the queen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was great. My one complaint, I guess one thing I didn't really enjoy about the movie Which I mean, it's a good character. It's just like, they didn't really need to introduce her in this Ironheart.
Yeah.
I feel like she may have been able to show up somewhere else before this, maybe.
Like Armor Wars.
Yeah, well, I know her show comes out next year, but I don't know.
Oh, I forget she's getting a show. Oh
yeah. She's not gonna have this. I know everyone hates the suit. I don't enjoy it either. It's only there to make toys, but
yeah.
She's not gonna have that suit in her show. She's gonna have a new suit. That was just the suit, her Wakandan suit. That because they took it back after.
Yeah.
But I really felt like she was just there to be there.
Yeah.
Like they were there so they can introduce her. But like she really served too much of a story purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean she did, but not to a great extent. Another character I did enjoy in this movie, and I was surprised when she showed up, and she had a lot of screen time, was Val.
Yeah.
I had idea that she might show up, and then she showed up, and then she was in like 5 scenes, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
She's the ex-wife of Everett Ross. They mentioned that in the movie, and she's the head of the CIA now.
Yeah.
And I guess the CIA is just going to be running the Thunderbolts.
Yep.
Hey, I thought that was great. I mean, I just thought the movie overall, it felt long at some points, but like we talked about in the review we did, I can't imagine any parts to take out. Like I felt like they were long, but all the scenes that were in it were meaningful. There wasn't like a stupid scene that didn't really need to be there.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, I'll just add extra minutes or whatever.
Yeah, and I cried. Almost cried twice.
Yeah.
The beginning and the end.
Yeah. I mean, everything you said, I perfectly agree with. Yeah, I think if they cut out Ironheart, I think. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't hate the character or anything. I thought the actress played her well and everything. I feel like it could have been something else more important they could have introduced her in.
Yeah.
And
we did get that line from M'Baku, by the way, the bald-headed demon.
Bald-headed demon.
That was funny.
Yeah, and that little the end. I don't know if it's the ending or it's the end credit scene with the whole reveal of. That's
the end credit scene. Yeah. The final scene of like before the end credits was Shuri on the beach crying, and you see all the silent flashbacks of her and T'Challa.
I gotcha.
It was just sad. It was so sad.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I kind of not surprising because I enjoyed it more than I guess I enjoyed it a bit more than you. I thought this. I think I'm really excited because I actually like it more than the original Black Panther.
Mm-hmm. I need to rewatch it. I've only seen it once. We both only seen it once. I think
I've seen it. I know what the first. Are you talking about Wakanda
this new one? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've only seen it once.
It comes on Disney Plus in January, so I'll be able to see it again then.
And then maybe this will go. This will be my new number 18. Who knows?
Right,
you never know.
You said Shang-Chi was your 7?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. My 6 is Shang-Chi. If I didn't already say that, I don't know if I did or not.
I like this movie a lot.
Which one? Black Panther or Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi.
Okay.
And because, well, for one, Mandarin. Let's talk about Mandarin real quick.
Yes.
Fantastic.
It's great. It was great.
Every character in this movie is fantastic. I don't hate one of them. I mean, honestly, there's not really much to say. I mean, it's a fun movie, good action.
I like watching it. I've seen it a lot.
Who plays Shang-Chi?
Simu Liu is his name.
Really, I love him. He does the character really good.
Mm.
I mean, I'm honestly trying to think of a negative. I probably should put it up higher. If I had an issue with it, I think his friend gets a bit too annoying sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
But luckily, the majority of it, I enjoy her.
Let's point out also
Trevor
and Morris.
Morris.
This also kind of sets up She-Hulk a little bit too.
Yeah, with Abomination.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Mm. It sets up She-Hulk, so that's why I lowered it.
Yeah,
that's why I was low.
But Trevor was great when he showed up. Now I knew he was in the movie.
Yeah,
he came out the red carpet. It was like a huge thing. But when he showed up, I was so happy. And it only really makes sense. I mean, it will make sense to most people, but it explains it. But if you watch the All Hail the King short,
yeah,
they explain it in that, like why he got imprisoned by the real Mandarin because he stole his name.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then he's sitting there like talking about how his acting, and then Morris walks up and everyone freaks out. And then he's like, "Oh, this is Morris." He's like, "You can see Morris. Morris, you're real." He thought I was hallucinating.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's a great. I'd say like maybe the ending kind of slows up a bit. But then it really ramps up once you see that dang fight with Shang-Chi and the Mandarin with the rings and all that.
Okay.
It's like something like an anime. It was
There's like a part one kind of fight a little bit when they're in that little like temple area. And they're fighting, and then the Mandarin does that move. I love it. Where they're at the water, and he like the rings go flying or something. I don't know what happened, but the Mandarin like punches through the rings and then punches Shang-Chi in the same move and sends him like flying out into the water. I love it.
It's great. I know, right?
So
great fight scenes.
And the same director is doing Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, which I'm very, very excited about.
Yeah,
because the fight scenes are going to be incredible.
Yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot. It's higher than Black Panther to me because I've seen it more than Black Panther, and also because I just really enjoy watching the movie. He's a character that is one of my favorites. He's probably in my top 3, maybe top 4. I don't know, one of those two.
Yeah,
of like Marvel characters at the moment.
But
yeah, what was your number 6?
My number 6 was Shang-Chi.
It was?
Yeah.
I thought your number 7 was Shang-Chi. Wait, no.
Oh, wait, no, because hold up. Give me a sec. Hold up.
Look at it. My 7 was Black Panther.
Yeah.
Okay, and my 6 was Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah, my 6 was... Oh, yeah. The 7 was Shang-Chi, 6 was Black Panther. Sorry.
Okay, so we're switched again.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5 for me is the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
For me, it's Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness.
Interesting.
I was let me go Multiverse of Madness first.
Yeah.
Everything you said, I agree with.
Okay.
Maybe shorter. Everything Darien said, I perfectly agree with. I mean, honestly, there's not even really like a... I don't know. The Scarlet Witch scenes in this, I don't think you touched on this too much, but all the Scarlet Witch scenes in this are incredibly good. Like she's like the dang Terminator. And like, I mean, look, that scene when she's destroying all the bots and just like killing the dang Illuminati.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And I don't know. I enjoyed it more. I thought the story was great. I thought Sam Raimi did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell it has Chapek, or I don't know what normal happened.
Yeah.
You could tell it has some nasty hands on it. And I feel like it kind of made it worse than it could have been. Yeah,
I agree. I put the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special because, man, this is good. Like, really good. I liked it. Liked it a lot. It took Mantis and Drax, which Drax I loved. Mantis, I mean, I haven't known her as long, so I mean, I'm still warming up to her a little bit, but I made me love them both even more. And like you get Kevin Bacon in there doing his thing. And like there's a lot of good comedy. I love the Christmas vibe. The music was great. As usual with James Gunn. I mean, I just love this project. Now, there are other stuff that this is where I don't really have any complaints that I could pick out. I don't think. most of the stuff I don't. That's we're going up to. It's just like personal preference of what I like enjoyed more. This I really loved it. The Christmas thing. I'll probably really only watch it during Christmas time.
This was my next one. Okay. And I'd say the only complaint it's a little cheesy sometimes, but I think that's kind of what James Gunn was kind of going for.
Yeah, it's like a Christmas special.
Yeah, because I think the lyrics for that song at the end are really cheesy. That kid, like the song Kevin Bacon sings, or he's like on the phone. He's like, I gotta stay here and teach him about Christmas. It's a bit cheesy, but
you gotta have the Christmas message.
That's how you see like a special.
Yeah,
and I think it works a bit. I think that's what it was going for. So, but I enjoyed it too. It was great.
Yeah. That was your number 4.
Yeah, that's my number 4.
My number 4.
No.
Yeah, my number 5 was
my number 5. Wait, hold on. No, you're missing something then.
No, I'm not.
Because you have to be, because I have because if number 5 is Guardians, because I have 4 more after that.
Me too.
Okay.
My number 4 is my 5 as well is Guardians of the Galaxy. Now number 4 is Werewolf by Night.
Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind that. Okay. I don't know what I was talking about. Number 4 for me is Loki.
Okay. I've done something in this that I didn't do in my last ranking, which is something I didn't think I would ever do, but I did, and I'll talk about it in a minute. But Werewolf by Night, again, with the specials, they're great. I mean, if you want to hear reviews on fully, you can go watch the extra beef. But we didn't do the extra beef for Werewolf by Night; it was on the normal episode. But we did the extra beef for the holiday special.
Mm-hmm.
Werewolf by Night was very unique. It was something that they'd never done before. They turned it into an old-timey monster movie. I mean, the character, the werewolf looked great. I mean, the story, the man thing was awesome. Or what was his name? Ted?
Yeah, Ted.
That was awesome. I love the color change at the end of it. Some of the design choices for the screen where you could see the white marks pop up, but it was make it look like old cigarette burns, so they're called old films and stuff. And not just the music. Oh, Michael Giacchino, he's awesome at the music anyway.
Yeah,
the Batman, the Spider-Man movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I love the music in this. The whole opening, the Marvel intro is one of my favorite Marvel intros.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I just really liked it. But there was some other stuff that I did like a lot more.
No, I gotcha. I'll get to that, I guess, here soon. I really enjoyed it.
Your number 4 was Loki, you said, right?
Yeah, number 4 was Loki. So I just want to go out of the way. My number 3 is WandaVision, and I be the first one to say and stand up and say Loki is a better show than WandaVision by far. But okay. I like WandaVision.
Talk about okay.
I like WandaVision more for reasons I'll get into in a minute. Yeah. Loki. Well, for someone who's played Loki for over 10 years, Tom Hiddleston does. I mean, he kills it every time, and
he continues to find more depth in the character.
Yeah, and this show made Loki from just a villain to I'd say you could probably argue Ragnarok started that whole trend, but then this show, you have. For when you get the episode that has all the different variations of Loki, that felt more Multiverse of Madness than Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
and I absolutely loved Sylvie and Agent Moby. All the new characters in the show are incredible, and
you can't forget 2 characters. Oh yeah, him, but also Casey.
Yes, Casey. I'll gut you like a fish.
What's a fish? He's coming back as a regular, and next season will be in every episode next season apparently. But this is the one show that is getting a season 2.
Yeah.
Loki is. And I'll talk about Loki a little bit more in a little bit. But I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Introduction to Kang and all that.
Yeah, I mean it's a good show. I mean, I recommend it.
Yeah. My number 3, because you talked about WandaVision. My number 3 is WandaVision.
Okay. I mean, do you want to start off this one?
I can. I think WandaVision was the first show, and it is nostalgic for that reason. It's a little nostalgic. It's like, oh, I love this show, is so good, and like I remember, and I could not wait when that the most hated outro in the world, when that little "Please Stand By" would pop up, and you'd be like, oh, gotta wait till next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And oh gosh, it was just like every week something new would happen, and we're just sitting there theorizing in between episodes, like, oh my god, what is going on? What is this? How is this happening? Is it Wanda? Is it someone else? Like, what's going on?
Mephisto?
Oh my gosh!
Oh, God,
and now we're actually getting Mephisto and Ironheart.
Yeah.
It's just like all that was just so awesome. I enjoyed it so much. And this is the show that got my grandma into Marvel, the MCU. Her thought was that she said, I don't like the name of this show. And she said, this sounds weird. She judges shows based off their names.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she just told me that Gotham Knights, the CW show, she's interested in it. And I'm like, oh, gosh. I'm like, no, please.
I mean,
yeah, but anyway,
I heard that. I was like, that was just that song. I was like, oh my god. But WandaVision, I do not hate any episode in the show.
Yeah,
this is my Loki. I mean, Loki doesn't even really have a bad episode, but WandaVision, man, I can.
This is the most rewatchable show, yeah,
out of any of them, because especially the first like couple ones. I mean, it's just like watching just a simple reality show, and
sitcom.
Me growing up, here's the thing. I grew up, had a VHS player, and my parents had a bunch of VHS sets of just TV shows they watched as a kid. Mm-hmm. And all that. And like, so when I was a kid growing up, man, I watched the Andy Griffith Show. I'd watch Malcolm in the Middle, and, Full House, Family Matter. Like, I'd watch all these just sitcom shows when I was a kid. And watching all this and just like pointing out, I'm like, oh my god, dude, it's just like in Andy Griffith.
Maybe you are Wanda. She watched sitcoms when she was a kid and then created.
And oh god, dude, Elizabeth Olsen and who plays Vision?
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany, man, they have such good dang chemistry with each other.
The scene.
I mean, the only flaw in the show was just due to Paul Bettany saying, "Yeah, it's one of the actors." I really
yeah.
It's himself. I'm like, okay. I remember I thought it was Tobey Maguire, and I was like, and I believed it too.
I thought it was Reed Richards.
Yeah, because they kept talking about the space scientist or whatever.
Yeah,
and
it was just some lady.
It was some woman.
Yeah, and this the show gave us our introduction to Monica Rambeau, who will be in the Marvels.
I love her too.
And Wiccan, Speed, Quicksilver, Evan Peters comes back.
And the kids were cool. I mean, it was great, and Agatha was great. I mean, the show was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, this show is it spins off a lot of stuff and also sets up. I mean, Agatha's getting her own show now. Vision's getting his own show. White Vision, that is. Wanda showed up in Doctor Strange, and now she's rumored to be getting her own movie in the future.
Yeah, Monica's when the Marvels. But I mean, it's
all that.
Yeah, great show. I mean, I of any of the Marvel shows, that's when you just turn on a random episode and enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was our, number 3? Yeah. All right. My number 2, that's what we're on, right? Yeah. Is Loki. Yeah. I did not do this when we did our 2021 ranking, but I put Loki above WandaVision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your number 2?
Werewolf by Night.
Interesting. Okay. Loki. I mean, I agree with everything you said. It's just everything. There wasn't a bad part of the episode, really, like of the show. I really enjoyed every character. I thought that some like the biggest like shocking moments I feel like happened in some of these episodes were like, especially episode 4. That one was it's where Mobius gets like erased or like pruned. That was what it's called. And that was shocking. And I was like, that's before we knew that when that happens, they just get sent to the void.
Yeah.
And it was like shocking. And the same thing at the end. They see the timekeepers, and then turns out they're robots. And then that was crazy. And then Loki gets pruned.
Mm, yeah.
And when I watched that, I was like, that makes sense too, because she's another Loki. They're going to replace him now with her. And I'm like, this is they faked us out. And then I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Now he's alive based off the after credit scene of that episode.
Yeah.
And that the shocks in that episode were really good to me. And I just really enjoyed the show.
Mm-hmm.
What made you put Werewolf by Night above WandaVision?
Okay. Going back to what I said on WandaVision, I grew up with watching old VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm.
My grandpa had a bunch of old classic Universal monster tapes, like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, Dracula.
I saw those 2 posters when we were doing our live stream.
Yeah. And you know, I love them so much. I got those posters. I hung them up in my basement. Mm-hmm. And talking about something that just gets the feel perfectly, and I loved it. And you ruined it for me, Darien, almost, because you told me about that green tint, and I'm all like, oh my god, I see it now. With the whole black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it though, man, because I know people complain about it. It's like, well, you only see the werewolf for a little bit, but I'm all like,
that's the way it was in those old monster movies.
That's exactly how it is. Yeah, I know. I don't understand. Like, you have these horror movie fanatics. They're all like, yeah, for something short, man, you barely see the monster. I'm like, watch Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah,
it really. I mean, you see the hints in it, like you see him maybe for like a second, and he jumps off. Then at the very end, it's fully shown off and everything, and it's all practical. I mean, it looks incredible.
And they do that thing so they don't have to worry about like wasting time doing like and whatever they like the monster changing, like the werewolf. You see the transformation through shadow instead of actually seeing it.
Yeah, and you have that cool shot of like just the continuous zoom in and the flashes of light. You see him changing more, and more. You see Man Thing in this, and it's
Ted.
It's great. Ted. Excuse me. And I loved it, man. I mean, probably a lot has to do with nostalgia, but I really enjoyed it. I love the other hunters. I mean, my only complaint is that it's just a bit too short. I wish we saw more. That's my only complaint, honestly.
Yeah. Who knows when that's the birth that started the birth of the monster side of the MCU, which we'll see more of eventually. I don't know when.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Got number 1.
I think we know. There's only by process of elimination. Yeah. Our number 1s are Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, I almost don't even really want to talk about it because I mean, it's like no duh.
What makes it the number 1 for you? Even though it's obvious, but just like
it's all. Well, here's the thing. This is like what this movie is a dream come true for me. Mm-hmm. Because again, nostalgia has a bunch to do with this. Little kid, man, there is not a movie. I destroyed the VHS tape, destroyed the DVD of freaking Spider-Man 2002, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. I watched those movies. There's not movies I'd watch besides those, and I loved them, and seeing Tobey Maguire, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, and how dare I forget, Thomas Hayden Church, come back and play the characters that I associate with them again is so special, and it's just perfect. And they didn't go in there for a check, man. They killed it, especially Dafoe. Willem Dafoe killed it. I mean, you could argue he was the best villain of Phase 4. If you don't want to include Kang,
he's in the top 3 for me.
He's in top 3. And
it's not because like I would put him at 3 for me, but it's not because he's like not as good as some other ones. It's because like I already knew about this guy. I've seen his performance before, and it's just as good.
Yeah,
if not better than it was back then.
Yeah, it's like it feels like just no change at all. It's insane. It feels like literally it's just like, oh yeah, he got teleported here right before he died or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, I believe it. They don't feel different at all. You know what I'm saying? Alfred, oh good lord, Alfred Molina, man, he does good. I wish we got a bit more of him as Doc Ock, but the whole bridge scene with him and Tom Holland is great. And
hello, Peter.
Yeah, hello, we've done my machine. And I'm all like, dude, and then they say like the lines, I'm sorry,
that scene, the scene with Toby and Doc Ock, and you get the Peter, my dear boy, it's good to see you. How have you been? And he goes, trying to do better.
And I'm all like, oh, dude, and here's the thing, I'm just talking about the Raimi stuff. I would say, honestly, here's the thing: the Raimi stuff was already pitch perfection even back then. You go to the Garfield stuff where it was kind of clunky with those movies.
Yeah,
this movie fixes them and makes them better. You know what I'm saying?
It fully redeemed
Electro.
Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Yeah, and
so good.
It completely redeems it. And
talk about that scene where like two they kind of coincide. Whenever it was right after Aunt May died, which for some reason just tore me up. I cried a lot during that. I don't know why. I
teared up. Man, burst into tears, but I teared up. I was like, oh, that sucks.
And then, but when they're trying to consult with Toby and Andrew, they're up on the roof of their like little tower of that school, and they're talking about like what happened in their lives. And Peter talks about Gwen, and he talks about what happened after Gwen, and just his like the acting, the monologue is so good. And then him jumping off to catch MJ. Yeah. And you get that moment where he's just like, I did it. And like, oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It's, again, you could argue, that's more impressive with them redeeming Amazing Spider-Man.
Never did I think that people would rant on Twitter about wanting Amazing Spider-Man 3 until after this movie. And then I was like, do it. Do it,
man. Do it. It'd be perfect. Perfect. Lord, man, I'm in love. I'm in love with this movie, man. And for someone that's been really critical with Tom Holland's movies, this one makes those. This movie makes all the other movies, every other Spider movie, that includes Tobey's, Andrew's, and Tom's movies, better. And because this movie, you get like the real Spider-Man at it, and it's like, yes, we've gotten to this point now. It's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, I agree.
It deserves all the praises.
Yeah. It's so good. And see, it sucks for me. So like I said, I was sick when this movie came out. We were all supposed to go see it, and I was fortunately had COVID, and I got spoiled on a lot of stuff in the movie. But not too much because I didn't know about Aunt May. But I got spoiled about Toby and Andrew, even though I kind of already knew.
Yeah.
And then I got spoiled on Daredevil.
I mean,
Well,
look,
Matt Murdock.
everyone. Here's the thing. It was so interesting because everyone knew they were in the movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, mostly everyone knew, but it was one of those things you had to see it to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I swore up and down every day. I'm like, dude, they're in the movie. You know, I'm here to go see Toby and Andrew. But there's that part inside of me. I was like, ooh, I wonder what if it's not true or something. I've just been fooled the whole time. I kept lying to my friends and all. I'm like, dude, I'm setting my expectations. Don't worry. But like, when they come on there, dude, I saw this movie 7 times in theaters. If you want to include when I saw the extended cut.
I've seen it 4 times, but once in theaters, twice pirated.
Actually,
and then
actually no, I've seen it 10 times, including seeing it at home. Yes, I forget. So I
wish it was on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I wish it was too, man. I got that 4K, man. I love it. You see that hearing people's reactions is just incredible, and I hate I'm not going to be able to experience that again. You know, I'd do anything to experience this movie again. Mm-hmm. This is just a 10 out of 10, perfect Marvel. I mean, I'm hoping because Phase 4 was kind of okay, and I don't know if this movie was just better. It made it seem just.
This movie captured. I can encapsulate what you're thinking in the sentence. This movie captured, in a phase full of mediocre to and decent projects. This movie captured that classic Marvel movie magic.
Yeah.
For this phase.
Exactly.
Like if this whole phase, as okay as it is, even though it is the worst phase, to me, it was all worth it just to get this one movie.
Yeah, I agree.
If we have to get all these other projects, if we have to get the Miss Marvels and the Eternals and Thor: Love and Thunder, so be it. As long as we get Spider-Man: No Way Home, and we did, and it gets first place. And now I deserve an Oscar for that.
It deserves one. And I'm hoping Phase 5, man, that's what they'll do. They
already know. You know, they're doing that. They're going for quantity. No, quality, not quantity. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's what I want. That's going to save. That will save the Marvel. I don't think it's in danger or anything. It'll be more worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was our Phase 4 ranking. Last time we did a ranking, I talked about everything that comes out the next year. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Mm-hmm. Show and movie wise, we don't know everything that's next year yet. I don't know why we knew it, but I guess it's because all the stuff that's going on, they're changing some stuff. So it is all up for debate. We just got news that Echo, which is supposed to come out next summer, is not going to hit its summer date, according to the showrunner, and that it's on track to maybe hit Disney Plus in December of next year.
Whoa.
Yeah, which is the show being written by the Better Call Saul writer.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. But we got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in February. Ready to get those tickets. Also wait for a new trailer for that.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Oh. Yeah, May 5th. So it's going to be great. The Marvels, July 28th. Let's see. What If Season 2 is supposedly some early 2023? Supposedly. We don't know if that's still happening. Secret Invasion is in the spring. Echo, like I said, got pushed back a little bit. Loki Season 2 is next summer. Ironheart is next fall. Agatha Coven of Chaos is, as far as we know, next winter. And X-Men 97 is next fall.
Okay.
Now, I don't think that's everything, because I know some of it's going to get pushed back, and I think there's one other project that we're not we don't know about, but it could be wrong.
Possibly.
But yeah, that is next year. Originally, Blade was supposed to be next year, but then that got pushed back. What's your most anticipated project for 2023?
Secret Invasion looks like it's going to be pretty good. Ant-Man and Guardians, movie-wise, Ant-Man and Guardians is...
I think Guardians is the one, but yeah, both of those I'm really excited for, but Guardians kind of takes the cake for me. I feel some kind of way about... This scares me. I was thinking about this last night, and I thought about talking about it on here, and I will. I'm excited to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but watching the trailer, as epic as the trailer was, I have this gut feeling that this movie is not going to be well accepted with the fans.
Wait, what movie you were saying?
Quantumania.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Guardians.
I have a gut feeling. There's already so many complaints about stuff in the trailer.
Okay,
visuals. Everyone's comparing it to Spy Kids, saying all the suits suck, and all the stuff.
Yeah, I don't care about the suits that much. I will agree with that.
There are more complaints than there are good things. Most of the good things are about Kang, but everyone's like, "Oh, this doesn't even look like an Ant-Man movie. It looks like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie," and all that stuff. And I'm like, I enjoyed the trailer. I'm excited for the movie. I'm just sitting here hearing all these complaints, and I'm like, I just feel like this movie's not gonna go over well with a lot of people. I don't know, but I still am very excited for it. I think it's gonna go over well with me. I'm gonna enjoy it, but I don't know. That's just me. But what's your most anticipated show? If anything, we got What If Season 2, Secret Invasion, Echo, Loki Season 2, Ironheart, X-Men 97, and Agatha.
Loki and X-Men 97. A bit of Secret Invasion as well.
I'm kind of excited for What If Season 2. I know I ranked it pretty low on this, but I think there's now that they've broadened, like they put in more stories and stuff, and we got that we're supposed to be having a Hela versus the Mandarin or something, or Odin versus the Mandarin. That's what it was in an episode. Yeah. I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping they have better ideas, because that is one of my one complaints. And What If, it's just like, it'd be like these just weird ideas, like, what if Spider-Man was Captain America, or Peter Parker was Captain America? It's like, oh, okay. I guess maybe it'd go like that, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Let's. I don't know if we did that. We didn't do this for 2021 because there was no ending phase, but we'll do it with the phases now. Let's rank Phase 4 as a whole.
It's very hard because those top four right there we had are.
I got it. I got mine. Now this being Phase 1, 2, and 3 for me are like all 9s or 10.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Phase 4 is going to be a 6.5.
I'm stuck between 6.5 or 7.
Yeah. Screw it. I'm going to put it up to 7 just for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, screw it. Yeah, we'll do 7.
Yeah, but a 7. And that has been our ranking of Phase 4 of the MCU. Thank you to everyone who has joined us through our reviews of this phase. We got through a whole phase, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't review everything. We missed WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, but we started off in the middle of Loki. Excited to get into Phase 5 starting February. And I do want to point out that I'm in the working on getting the live stream that we did the Game Awards back up, hopefully. We'll see about that. And also check out, this is all like the housekeeping stuff. I got to name off everything. Check out streams I'm doing of Detroit Become Human. Those are fun. Yeah. And then next week, we're going to have another episode where we're going to review this Across the Spider-Verse trailer and get into the news. And then we're taking a break Christmas break, and then we'll be back January 11th with the Arkham Files season 2.
Yep.
But yeah.
Hey, I do want to say that. I do want to ask your opinion on this.
Okay.
If we do get some Marvel Spider-Man 2 news, can you at least do an extra beef on that news? At least give me that.
We'll throw up a quick live stream.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know how we'll do it. Maybe we'll go live on our social medias.
Yeah. No. We're going live on YouTube. You're coming over. We're doing another live stream. All
right. We'll see. But yeah, that was that. That was fun. I can't really think of anything else to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here, and we thank you for tuning in to this ranking, and we'll catch you next week. Bye, guys.
See ya.